Even to people who have no children, this is a familiar scene. The comfort that this mother gives her newborn child seems easy, natural, and unrehearsed. It is a loving relationship so predictable that most of us take it for granted. Researchers and scientists, however, have begun to ask questions about this behavior. Is a mother's love just nature's way of ensuring a helpless infant's survival? Or are other messages being sent between mother and baby in their early years together? What keeps parents committed through all those demands and sleepless nights? Is their attachment to each other present at birth, or does it build slowly? How much of a role does the child play in forming their relationship? Can a baby develop the same kind of bond with someone other than his natural mother? And what happens to a child if a loving relationship like this does not form? Well, in the late 1940s, here at the University of Wisconsin, a researcher named Harlow tried to find out the answer to some of these questions. Harlow had been using monkeys like these to study their learning behavior. One day, Harlow made an interesting finding. After separating some baby monkeys from their mothers to prevent the spread of disease, he noticed that the babies grew physically healthy, but became antisocial and withdrawn. Harlow knew that humans and monkeys were not identical. Nonetheless, he took these observations and began a series of experiments that would continue for the next 30 years. In one study, Harlow placed the baby monkeys in separate cages, alone, with two artificial mothers. One of the mothers was a block of wood covered with a soft cloth. The second was a wire cylinder. Each mother was provided with a bottle held for the baby monkey to nurse. Harlow found that the baby monkeys clearly preferred to hold on to the softer cloth mother. But surprisingly, they would also cling to her even when she did not have any food. In his most extreme study, Harlow placed the baby monkeys in total isolation. These monkeys soon huddled in the corner of their cages, clutching and biting themselves or rocking back and forth. When later exposed to other monkeys, they were apathetic and withdrawn. When some of these same monkeys had babies of their own, they ignored and abused them. These monkeys had never had a mother, and now they did not know how to be one. These studies found that monkeys who had only been isolated for the first 3 months of their lives could gradually recover to monkey society when they returned. Encouraged by the other monkeys, they would join their games and soon play freely. But monkeys who had been isolated for up to 6 months did not recover as easily, and the monkeys who had been in isolation for an entire year would be extremely difficult to help. About the same time that Harlow began his studies on baby monkeys, a doctor named René Spitz took these films of children in a Latin American orphanage. These young children had been given all the food and medical attention they required, but the staff was limited. There was only one nurse for every 8 children. There was very little stimulation in the children's day-to-day lives, and they had no one consistent person to know or love. This boy was a year old when he was filmed, yet he appears to be much younger. He has not seen his parents for more than 6 months. He cannot sit up, and he doesn't respond to others. Dr. Spitz found that if these children could not get consistent, loving care from one person, they suffered changes in their personalities. They did not develop normally, and they were more susceptible to disease. But he also found that if parents returned to their children within 3 months after their first separation, the children could improve. While Spitz and Harlow were finding these things out, a psychiatrist in England named John Bowlby took the same ideas one step further. Bowlby had found a pattern of behavior that showed up between mothers and their babies in humans and animals. It was something he called attachment. And we can see it taking place in scenes like these between parents and children today.
Are you out, honey bun? Come on. You want to wake up and get some food? I think she's just going to fall asleep on us.
The signs of attachment can be something as simple as a baby smiling at the sound of her mother's voice.
You're a precious little girl, you know. Are you a little tickly?
In strange surroundings, a mother's presence will calm her baby. The baby may cling to her mother's clothes or become quiet when she's near. In response, the mother begins to sense her baby's needs. She can bring out the baby's smile or understand her cry. Encouraged by this love and understanding, a child will be secure in seeking out others in an ever-widening circle of relationships. The knowledge that her parents are there will give a child the security to explore. If